Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
And welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. At our Facebook Live service, we are a Science of Mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. I'm Reverend Marilyn Sprague, and I serve here at the center as the Director of Education and Virtual Outreach. It is truly an honor to welcome you to our Facebook Live service this morning. So if you're new to the center, I invite you to find out more about us by visiting our website, www.cslportland.org. And under the About Us menu tab, you'll find a lot of information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. The website also gives lots of details about the various activities at the center, and you can sign up to receive a weekly email listing all of our events and services, and I highly encourage you to sign up for the email because there's a lot going on and you'll have it right in your personal inbox. And I would like to highlight several announcements. So yes, every Sunday, Facebook Live, our service is at 11 a.m. with wonderful 10 minutes of mood-creating music with the Friends Band. So I highly encourage you to join us every single week. Also, if you happen to be out of town or not connected or not being able to catch our Sunday service, we are also on YouTube, and we have our audio podcasts. They're posted on our website and available 24/7, 365. We have Wednesday night meditations each week delivered via Zoom teleconferencing. There's services start at 7 o'clock p.m. And this Wednesday, January 27th, practitioners Sylvia Kearns and Kate Barrett will be hosting. The theme is opening up for Spirit to work through us. And the Friday lunch with Reverend Larry is canceled this week because Reverend Larry is on vacation. He actually gets some time off. And he's doing a thumbs up over here. We also have an online Zoom group for our Social Justice Book Club and our 12-step program for women that's led by licensed practitioner Nancy Ashley. And we do have a new free program, and this is hot. You really want to do this. It's called 365 Ernest Holmes. You can sign up to get a daily Ernest Holmes affirmation sent directly to your email inbox. And so to sign up, go to our website, www.cslportland.org/365. And the affirmation is also posted to our social media accounts daily. It really is a great way to start your day, and check it out throughout the day as well. And our winter classes, this is kind of a last call for the opportunity to register for our 2 classes that are being offered this winter. Reverend Larry is facilitating the spiritual principles and practices. This is kind of like the entry-level beginning foundation for the Science of Mind teachings, and you'll learn all about spiritual principles, practices, and how to bring them into your life and make that an active part of daily living. And licensed practitioner Kate Barrett and myself are facilitating the essential Emma Curtis Hopkins. And if you've been around Science of Mind for a little bit, you may have heard that name. She is known as the metaphysical teacher of teachers. And so this class is all about her 12 lessons that she's known to have said takes a person from zero to healer in 12 lessons. So check again the website for all the information. Okay, and this is a big one. This coming Saturday, January 30th, we're launching the Season for Peace and Nonviolence with an event at 2 p.m. delivered via Zoom teleconferencing. You'll be guided through a superhero power meditation and a circle of prayer. So to find out more about the Season for Peace and Nonviolence, again, go to our website, and on the home page, if you check out on the right-hand side, you will actually see a logo that has Season for Peace and Nonviolence. It says, click here. There's a full page of upcoming events that are tied in to the Season for Nonviolence, and there's also a 64 ways booklet that you can download and practice each day a specific theme. So again, go to our website, cslportland.org, and check out Season for Peace and Nonviolence, and be sure to mark your calendar for our launch at 2 p.m. this Saturday. And then on Sunday, February 7th at 12:30, we're hosting a town hall meeting on Zoom. The Zoom link will be on the website in our weekly emails. We'll be covering the year-end program and financial results, and there's also time for questions and answers. And something really fun, this is going to open your heart. Sunday, February 14th, our director of music, and LaRonda Steele, and our Friends Band are throwing a Valentine's Love Offering concert at 1:30 p.m. on Facebook Live. The advance tickets are available currently, so again, go to our website and look for the Love Offering concert. And click there, and you'll find all the information. It's our music team's fundraising gift at the center, so be sure to join us. And are you on our mailing list? As I mentioned, all of these announcements and all this information is available to you in a weekly email. So details for signing up are right on our homepage. Again, go to our website, and you simply enter your name and your email on the bottom of the right-hand sidebar. So that's a lot that's going on. So if you didn't happen to get that all on your calendar as I was going through it, go to the website, cslportland.org. And oh, the floral arrangements today. Thank you, Kat Jacobs. Tulips, that's definitely a sign of spring. And our special music today is by Kristen Amundsen, of course, accompanied by the Friends Band. Music, or the meditation. The message today is by Reverend Larry. So sit back and relax, because I know somewhere between the music, the message, and the meditation is exactly what your heart came to receive. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. So right here, right now, bringing our full attention, our full awareness to this now moment, letting go of anything that preceded this now moment, allowing ourselves to rest in the comfort, the love, the embrace of this now moment, and recognizing one presence, one mind of infinite intelligence, one mind of infinite possibility. This one power, one source, one presence. I choose to call it God. And it is all that is seen, all that is unseen. It is of this one power and one presence. Its creative intelligence is that dynamic behind all that is seen and unseen. And I am of it. My life is an individualized expression of this creative genius, this creative intelligence known as God. Its substance is the very substance of my life. Its source is my source. And as it is true of me, I know it to be the truth of each and every person in our service here today and throughout the world. God is the one source, the one power, and each person is an individualized expression of that one. There is no separation. And so I claim and affirm, and I speak my word for and about our service today, and for and about each person attending our service. I claim and affirm that Reverend Larry is a clear instrument, and that the one mind, its infinite intelligence, its inspiration, its guidance is flowing in through and as the mind of Reverend Larry as he shares his message today. And I claim and affirm that each of our musicians is that expression of that uniqueness of spirit, giving and sharing their unique gift in a way that uplifts and inspires each of us. And I claim and affirm for each person that there is an opening of mind and heart to remember that God is. There's no separation. There's only unity. There's only one. So the mind of God, its creative genius, its intelligence, the infinite possibilities, all of it available in, through, and as each person. And I claim and affirm a willingness to align individual thoughts with that one source, that one power, that truth. God is, and all is well. And I am so grateful for this truth that God is all there is. God is fully expressing in, through, and as its creation, and that includes each person in this service. And so I release my word into the activity and action of the law, knowing that that law is the eternal servant of spirit. It always says yes. And so together we say, and so it is. And as we go into a few moments of quiet contemplation, I invite you to open your heart and your mind to the influx of the creative genius expressing in, through, and as you.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. Feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed was already there. a song. It was singing all along. It is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me, and I am touched by amazing grace. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed, is already there, closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air.
Kristen, what a treat. Thank you for being here today. What a beautiful song to get us started. Happy Sunday, everyone. So glad you're here joining us today. So every January we do this little series that I call Back to Basics. And the idea is an annual refresher, if you will, about the major points and principles of the science of mind philosophy. The science of mind philosophy, of course, synthesized by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, early in the last century, brought up to date through the Centers for Spiritual Living. So far, we've covered quite a few things. Week 1, we talked about the nature of God itself. And similar to most of the world's religions, God is all-wise, all-powerful, everywhere present. But where we do differ a little bit is that idea of everywhere present. We say that God is everywhere present because God is in and as everything. Every person, every place, everything, the manifest universe itself is God informed. And so that's why science of mind perhaps is a little different than some of the world's religions. We also talked about God being immanent. If God is everywhere, it means right here and right now. And so we don't pray to some distant God, to some guy in the sky on a throne. Our prayers only have to just be cognized in our own minds. They only have to go as far as our own thinking. It's one of the reasons I loved Kristen's song so much. Literally, God is in the very air that we're breathing in. We don't have to go anywhere or do anything special to be in God's presence because we are always in God's presence. In lesson 2, we personalized that. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about God being not only present in the universe, but present within ourselves, that our bodies are a manifestation of God, and that our thoughts and our hearts and our actions, everything that we think and feel and do, we can, if we choose, think of them as acting on behalf of Spirit. And you'll remember we had a good discussion how we're more than welcome to seek our good out in the world, to show our authentic power, but the caveat is, let us do so not at the expense of anyone else. Let us make sure that our good doesn't have to diminish or displace anyone else. Well, last week we talked about one of the fundamental principles of the science of mind, and Ernest Holmes, I think, summed it up best by saying our thoughts become things. And of course, he was describing the divine creative process, that process by which our thinking, our thoughts, our beliefs tend to outpicture in the world. And so as we have thoughts of love and light, of joy and peace, of health, those kinds of thoughts will tend to produce their like in our bodies and in our lives. And unfortunately, of course, the reverse is also true. If we have thoughts of trouble and dismay, those too go into that divine creative process and are apt to produce results that we're not liking very much. And so we talked a little bit last week of making sure that we're weeding our mental garden, that we're doing the things necessary to bring some alignment into our thoughts, to make sure that on bulk our thoughts are positive, are about what we want to experience in life, rather than what we choose not to experience in life. Well, this week I'm going to start from where we left off. I want to talk a little bit more on how we can actually use this divine creative process, how we can use our relationship for spirit in a purposeful way. And I think where I want to start is a reading. Ernest Holmes talked about this process in kind of a unique way, and it's a bit of jargon here, I apologize, but he calls it building a mental equivalent. And let me read from the Science of Mind textbook what he has to say about this idea of building a mental equivalent. He says the whole teaching of Jesus was based on the theory that we are surrounded by an intelligent law which does unto us as we each believe. He implied the necessity of faith, conviction, and acceptance. We must not only believe, we must know that our belief measures the extent and the degree of our blessing. It is our belief, it's limited, only a little can come to us, because that is as we believe. And so in a way, we're in charge of how much or how little we can bring into our lives in terms of love and light and joy by how much we believe that we can. And he goes on to say, we call this the law of mental equivalence. How much life can anyone experience? Only as much as we can embody. All right, now let's move beyond the jargon here a little bit. Mental equivalence, embody, fancy words, I know. Let's bring it into more of a practical realm, if you don't mind. So first of all, what are the four elements that I think signify this idea of embodiment? How do we know that this mental equivalent is reasonable? Well, I think it needs to have four primary characteristics. The mental equivalent, first of all, has to have some clarity around what we desire. How many of you out there actually know what you want to experience in this world? Now, some of you are saying, well, of course I know. Of course I know exactly what I want. But I would ask you, is that completely true? Or do you mostly know what you don't want to experience? Because you see, when I'm engaged with people in conversation, so often I hear what they don't want to have. They don't like their job. They're having trouble with their primary relationship. They're not making enough money. Their health benefits aren't what they would like them to be. Their children are not behaving the way they want, and so on and so forth. That it almost seems like there's more impetus or more clarity around what's not desired rather than what is desired. Well, I want to tell you, for this mental equivalent to work, for it to be a healthy and wholesome mental equivalent, it needs to be what you do want to experience. And so that might take some time on your part. You might have to visualize your life as though it were going perfectly, as though it were beyond where you are today in some measure of love or life or utility. And for the moment, at least, put aside the gripes and the complaints about what's happening right now, and instead focus on what you would like to see. How would you fit in it? What would the world be like if things were going the way you wanted? And so that's the first step of building this thing that Ernest Holmes called a mental equivalent. It's clarity around what you do want rather than what you don't want. The second piece of it is your ability to actually accept this good. Now, there's an old story about the person who wished and wished and prayed to have $1 million. And as it happens, there was a bank robbery in the area, and the thieves were being chased by the police, and so the big satchel of money they had gotten, they just threw over the fence, and it landed on someone's porch. And so the next day, they went out and opened a bag, and there was $1 million. Well, of course they turned it in. They couldn't accept that money, right? But could you accept $1 million? Could you accept the good that's waiting for you? I think people actually make excuses for why they aren't getting what they want. They make excuses for themselves. They denigrate their own capabilities, their own intelligence, their own open hearts in order to actually keep their good at a distance. Now, some of you are saying, "Oh no, who would do that? Who would purposefully keep their good at arm's length?" But I would say to you, it may not be purposefully, but I see it all the time. People will tell themselves, "I'm just not worthy of the good life. Who am I to live well? Who am I to have joy, to have love?" They think of themselves as less than or inferior. And when you are in that position, you will not be able to accept the good life, even if it shows up on your doorstep. Even if it is presented to you, wrapped up with a bow, you are apt to say, "That present must be for someone else." And so think about that one for a moment. It's not only the clarity of what you want, but it's your own sense of, yes, that is right for me. I would and could and will easily accept that good. The third piece of it is truly the belief that God can bring it. We talk in the science of mind as God as being all-powerful, all-wise, all-seeing, everywhere present. And then sometimes I think we make God about this big, and we think that we're the one that has to bring the good to us, that our good is limited by what we can do, what we can manage, the amount of money that we can work towards through the difficult job or the difficult ways of being in life, that only we can do that. And we put aside the whole idea as God being infinite, as God being infinitely powerful, and just the giantness of the warehouse that is God, with everything you could ever desire in it, all the love, all the life, all the joy, all the peace. And instead, we're bound up in that idea of personal control. I need to figure it out myself. I need to get it myself. And we've completely neglected the idea that truly God has the power, has the resources, has everything that we could need. And therefore, we can rest with some peace of mind that knowing God's power is sufficient, even when my personal power might not be able to figure it out. Then the fourth piece of this, and that's the piece that we were stressing last week, it's really the piece I'm talking about quite a bit this week. That's the idea that God does respond to us, that there is a power greater than ourselves in the universe, and that we can use it. That when we pray, when we meditate, when we build this thing called the mental equivalent, that it will be acted upon, that it is God's, in fact, good pleasure to bring our dreams, our prayers, our contemplations into form. God takes great delight as we take great delight. And so those are the four characteristics that I believe are necessary for a mental equivalent that's going to go somewhere, that's going to take off for you. And again, just to go over them very quickly, it's clarity of what is desired. It's acceptance of the new experience. It is for me. I will have it. I deserve it. It's belief in God's power. And then finally, it's belief that God will act on our behalf, that idea that our thoughts really do become things. So it's an element of clarity, it's an element of faith, it's an element of understanding. When you put those together, you have what Ernest Holmes called a mental equivalent. And when that mental equivalent is clearly in your mind and in your heart, because I think it takes both. We can conjure the image and the ideas of what we want in our head, but the rest of it, the faith, I think, is a little lower. It's about a foot lower right here in our hearts. We have to be able to also absorb that on the feeling side of life. Yes, here's the vision of it, and I feel secure in God's power. I have faith in the ability for it to come into manifestation. So when we engage the heart and the head, when we have that clarity of what we want and the faith that it shall be ours, oh my gosh, it's how mountains are moved. It's how the miracles that are described in so many of the world scriptures came about. It is through the vision of what we want and the acceptance in our heart that it shall be true. All right, I want to move forward with some more information on how to use it. But I think first, we might want to have today's joke. So a devout old shepherd lost his favorite Bible while he was out looking for a wayward lamb. He was heartbroken. The Bible had been given to him by his mother as a child, and he'd read it ever since. Every morning he sat down and prayed for the Bible's return. Every noontime he pictured someone returning the Bible to him, and at night he prayed again and visualized it back in his own hands. Sounds like a good science of mind kind of guy, doesn't it? Well, 3 weeks later, a sheep walked up carrying the Bible in its mouth. The shepherd couldn't believe his eyes. He took the precious book out of the sheep's mouth, raised his eyes heavenward, and exclaimed, "It's a miracle!" "Well, not really," said the sheep. "Your name and address are written right inside the cover." But is that not the way of manifestation? God doesn't necessarily bring us the miracle of what we desire in the terms of a miracle. It can take the form of a sheep. It can take the form of our own hands. When we pray, when we have something in meditation, when we are visualizing our good, it will come to us. We don't get to dictate the form. We can't necessarily know the timing of it. It's part of the genius, part of the power of actually turning it over to God. When we pray, when we know in our heart that our good is ours and it's coming and it's here and we're loving it and we accept it, it can take the most miraculous forms or it can take the most mundane forms. Do we care? Our good is ours. Well, I'd like today to help us build the beginning of one of these mental equivalents. And so I'd invite you right now to close your eyes. We're going to do a little bit of a visualization technique here. Visualizing, of course, with our eyes closed, right? It's the images, the pictures, the words that will come to us in our own minds. So just sit quietly. Allow your eyes to gently close. Feel yourself connected to your chair. We sit comfortably, breathing in and out, just gently. There is a peace, there is a connectedness. We are centered and grounded. Any worries of the day are put aside for now. We can pick them back up again later if we need to. Here in this moment, there is only the sound of my voice, only the pictures and ideas, the thoughts and beliefs moving through our mind. And today I'd like each of us to put some purpose around those thoughts and ideas in our mind. Let us each take a situation in our lives where we would like to see some level of improvement. It could be improvement around our job. It could be a deepening of a connection that we have with someone else, an improved relationship. It could be an enhancement to our living situation, to our homes and apartments. It could be recreational in nature. Maybe we'd like to see more of the outdoors, to participate more out in nature. Simply choose something in your life, an area in your life, where you'd like to see some improvement or some healing. Could even be the healing of your own body. And once you have chosen this, begin conjuring up words and ideas, thoughts and beliefs in your mind that support that desired outcome. So if it's a healing in your body, picture yourself in robust, good health, perhaps running on the beach, enjoying life physically. If it's an improved relationship, begin to visualize yourself in that relationship so full of love, of honoring and acceptance. See yourself interacting with the other person in that relationship in ways that highlight being together in peace and joy and harmony. So keep in mind that situation that you'd like to improve and begin filling in the details of what it would be like if that situation were just as magnificent as you can imagine. The healing was complete. The love is fulsome. The job is magnanimous. That everything about this particular situation is healed, is robust, is lavish, is beautiful, is touching. Begin filling in your mind with the pictures, the words, and the ideas that support the fullness of this changed life. And make sure that you're in it, right? Make sure that you're fully present in this vision. See yourself acting with a greater degree of love in the relationship. See yourself with the physical healing complete and you able to do everything you would choose to do. See yourself in that improved job. What's it feel like? How does it come to you? Well, this is the beginning of what Ernest Holmes would call a mental equivalent. Those pictures, those ideas, those thoughts. That clarity with which your new and improved situation reveals itself to you. But to make the mental equivalent complete, it does require our heart, not just our mental pictures. And so open your heart in acceptance. Say to yourself, this is for me. This life is mine to live. This joy, this peace, this healing, this beauty, it's mine. I deserve it. I am it. It is unfolding in my life, and I embrace it. So we have the open mind, full of the pictures and the words and the ideas of this new improved in situation, and we have the open heart. That heart that says, yes, this truly is for me. This love is mine. This abundance is mine. This wholeness or peace or harmony, it is for me and I accept it. And so we have created a little prayer here, haven't we? A mental equivalent is like a prayer. And I invite you just to release this prayer. Release this mental equivalent into the loving arms of Spirit. That Spirit that responds to our thoughts. That Spirit that creates out of our thoughts and our mental images. Our thoughts become things. And so with great gratitude, I release this mental equivalent, this prayer, into the divine creative process. I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. So I invite you just to open your eyes as you will. So we've done something I think kind of special today. We've used just one of the many techniques that you might use for building a mental equivalent. I thought it would be fun to do a guided meditation, and of course that's a great way to build a mental equivalent, but you have so many other ways at your disposal too. You can simply sit down and create a prayer or a science of mind treatment for yourself. You can sit in the silence and contemplate your good fortune or your wonderful relationship. You could build a storyboard and cut out pictures of what your new and improved life would be like. Really, you have the option of customizing how you go about building this mental equivalent. But I do want to emphasize a couple pieces of it. We talked about the 4 characteristics that will make it a good mental equivalent, but I haven't mentioned one pitfall around this. You know, it's sometimes difficult for us to really have our thoughts and emotions in alignment. And by that, what I mean is we might say a prayer in the morning to live the abundant life. And after a couple hours have passed, instead our mind is focused on overdue bills or lack and limitations in our lives. And as you can see, then our thoughts are no longer in alignment. We have chosen to stray beyond our thoughts of abundance or love or peace. And instead we're back in the areas of worries, back in the areas of limitation. And when we do that, of course, we lose the coherence, the consistency of our thinking, and it's as though we're throwing multiple and I would say conflicting prayers at Spirit. One moment we're saying abundance, and the next moment we're saying lack. And what is Spirit? How does Spirit create out of that? Then we're going to get a mess, basically, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So do consider that there needs to be a level of alignment in your thinking throughout the day and throughout your mind. All right, let's summarize what we've covered today. Well, we've added a 5th key principle to our beliefs around the science of mind. Let me go through all 5 of the things we've covered this month. First of all, that God is all there is, and also that God is immanent, present in the here and now. Number 3 is that we're each an individualized center of Spirit. So not only is God everywhere, but God present in our own lives, present as you and I. Last week we talked about God responds to our thinking, the divine creative process, that our thoughts become things. And today we learned how to use that creative process by creating what Ernest Holmes called a mental equivalent, that idea of aligning our heart and our mind with 4 key elements there: some clarity of what's desired, the acceptance of the new experience, belief in God's ultimate power, and then belief in this divine creative process, that our thoughts will indeed be co-creative with Spirit. All right, on to homework. I'd like to invite you sometime this week, when you have a spare few minutes, to simply sit down and develop a rich mental equivalent for some area in your life. Now, you might want to do it on paper. I know some people love to do journaling. You could literally list out all the elements of how you would like your life to be changed or enhanced. Some people might want to do a visualization similar to what I led you through today. Others might want to write out a 5-step science of mind treatment. It doesn't much matter to me how you go about doing it, but make a commitment to yourself that sometime this week you'll pick an area of your life where you'd like to see a healing or an improvement, and build a mental equivalent of it. Bring your thoughts into alignment, right? We're going to give up the thoughts of lack. We're going to give up all the things that are going wrong, and instead focus on aligning our thoughts in a manner that support what we do want to experience. That's the magic, if you will. That's the power of the mental equivalent, is focusing your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas into alignment. All right, that's your homework. I'm going to close today with another quote from Ernest Holmes as he ends this 4th chapter in the Science of Mind Science of Mind textbook, and a prayer. He says, "It has been proven that by thinking correctly and by a conscious mental use of the law of mind, we can cause it to do definite things for us. By conscious thinking, we give conscious direction to it, and it consciously responds to our advance along the lines of our thinking. It must and will respond to everyone. There is no respecter of persons. We are surrounded by an intelligent force and substance from which all things come. It is around us and willing to take form through the impulse of our creative belief. It works for us by flowing through us." Let us pray. There is one power, one presence, one life, one joy, one peace, only this one thing that I call God, and it is manifest throughout the entire universe. That includes me, it includes everyone on this planet. Each of us a center of divine intelligence, each of us with access to this divine creative law, this process that takes our thoughts and turns them into things. And on this day, I know and I claim for each one of us our more conscious use of that law, of that spiritual principle. Each one of us, through the careful application of this thing called a mental equivalent, we can create our dreams here on earth. Each of us has the ability to organize our thoughts and our emotions into alignment, creating the world we wish to see. And so for this, I give great thanks for this potential, for this possibility, for this miracle, for this certain law. I give thanks. I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much for being here today. Now is our time of conscious contribution. I know that many of you have been so kind to us over these months with no one physically here in the sanctuary. You've used our PayPal account. You've gone to our website at cslportland.org/donate. Some of you have signed up for our Tithely account. Thank you so much for your many gifts. They make the world a better place through our outreach into the world, through our podcasts, through our services, through our YouTube channel, and so on. Thank you so much. I think it's time for some more wonderful music. Kristen, would you like to come back up? Thank you.
Little Eddie Watkins Jr. for you.
God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning. in paradise. God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God. Omnipresent, manifesting cosmic unity, the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and everything in between. I'm the intelligence, orchestrating relativity. The power of creation is a gift to you and me. God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God. God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God. Oh, God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God. God is all there is. God is all there is. In the beginning, God.
That was fun. Thank you, guys. Um, before we close out today, just a couple quick reminders, some things coming up. So this Saturday is the beginning as we open up the season for peace and nonviolence, and we have a special kickoff ceremony beginning at 2 p.m. Go to our website, and you'll be able to join us on Zoom. The other thing I just wanted to remind everyone is we're here to support you in prayer. The bottom of all of our website pages at cslportland.org, you'll see a link for making a prayer request. It's our great honor. You fill in a little form. It's automatically emailed out to all 10 of our licensed practitioners, to Reverend Marilyn and myself. It's our honor to pray for you, well, starting right as soon as we get it, but we'll keep you in prayer throughout the week, so please take advantage of that. For now, though, I think happy Sunday, and let's have our closing song. If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.